Okay, so a school is building a playground on a square plot of land that has an area of 650 square meters. The school wants to build a fence around the plot of land and currently has 60 meters of fencing. So we broke this up into a couple of different questions for you. The first one says find the length of a side of a plot of land to the nearest tenth of a yard. Okay, so Joe, can you tell me what to do?
Well, take a side length. S equals radical area.
Okay.
And that would be radical 650, which equals 25.5 yards.
Okay. And so the square root of 650 was 25.5 yards. Okay. The other way you could have thought about that is we know that area equals side squared. Joe is just saying, wait a minute, I remember from my homework, if I square root both sides of that, I get a formula that's a little easier to work with. Okay. Now we're asked to approximate the perimeter of the plot of land. So I'm going to be very careful here. I'm not going to use my rounded answer. I'm going to use, I know that this was 650, or the square root of 650. And I know that this side was the square root of 650. And this side was the square root of 650. And this side was the square root of 650. I'm using that square root, not the rounded answer, because if I use my rounded answer, I might change my answer just a little bit. I want to be very careful not to change it very much. So, how can I found all the sides. How do I find the perimeter? How do I find the perimeter of a shape? Okay, yeah, I'm saying P equals 4S. So I'm adding up all the sides, and if we know it's a square, they're all the same side, or same size. So that's 4 times the square root of 650. So on our calculator, we're going to do 4 times the square root of 650. And we're going to be very, very careful when we type that into our calculator. Because I see some people had forgotten some parentheses there. So either I can put the 4 out front, and that solves the problem, or I can remember to put in my parentheses. And I see we have be very careful here. And I apologize, this was an issue on our end. Notice the question is in meters. This should say meters, not yards. I apologize. Using 2 different units on you there. Okay. We could, because it says approximate, it's up to you what you rounded to. You could have rounded that to 102. You could have rounded that to 102.0. You could have rounded that to 101.98. I left it as 101.98 just so I have a couple of extra decimal places in case I need them per question C, because I haven't read question C yet. It says, does the school have enough fencing to build a fence around the plot of land? Well, how much fencing do they have? Oh, they have 60 meters. So do they have enough? So how do I figure out how much more they need? Okay, I am going to subtract. So I'm going to take that 102 minus 60. So they need 42 meters more. Okay. I mean meters. Yeah, it was supposed to be meters. That was a mistake in A. Any questions?